you guys so much for joining this episode of The Construct. We have a special guest today. Thank you, Dante, for joining me today. Plus, a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me up here, Anthony. So my name is Dante Jones. I'm an entrepreneur through and through. So I've really never had a conventional job. So I recently I used to own a gym. I sold my ownership in it. But I do that. I'm an architectural photographer, so I have like a media company where we specialize in like interior design, stuff you see on Zillow, stuff you might see in like a Architectural Digest magazine, along with like videos of houses and stuff that you see on YouTube and stuff like that. And then additionally, I do real estate investing, so fixing, flipping, buying and holding, and soon to be doing construction stuff as well. So I'm hustling, man. I'm figuring it out day by day.
As you should. And my first question for you is what has made the year 2025 different than previous years for you?
Um, Clarity. I think one thing that I've started to gain right now is in relations to working and everything like that is just clarity. I'm starting to realize, I can't do everything. So I'm building out teams. I'm getting people around me that can help me get to a common goal, and we all have common things that we're looking towards. So that I think that's the main thing that's helped in 25 is I'm getting a little bit older and I'm like, hey, I can't do everything. I don't want to do everything. So let me build out a team. Let me find like-minded people or different-minded people that can help different perspectives of things that I'm not seeing myself. So yeah, that's 2025 for me in regards to business.
Yeah, respect that. And because I know you mentioned that you are an entrepreneur, and I've seen on your profile you do many things, like you said, real estate, photography, um, as well as you're going to be going to construction next. You
Hmm.
said, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you think people get wrong about the grind of being a multifaceted entrepreneur in Raleigh?
Um, I think the one thing people like get kind of, a little confusing. I think it's just a life thing is that, it's going to come easy. There's a process, there's trials and tribulations. I think there's a timeline of you learning things and failing and improving. And I think that's really important. I mean, it's always better to have somebody to kind of help you navigate those things better. But I think you get on social media and it's like you see the fast cars, you see the $1 million houses, the big boats and stuff like that, not realizing, the effort behind the scenes that it took to get to that point. And I think that's the part that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of people that I had this conversation with someone the other day, and they feel like there's people that focus so much on what other people have and their success, and they want to compare it when your life journey might be a tad bit different, and you may have better blessings or maybe different opportunities than that other person.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
So, was there a moment when you realized that you couldn't just do like everything all at once, and you needed like multiple people to be a part of your team?
Yeah, I would say, so it was 2 years ago in 2023, I faced real burnout, to where like, it was hard for me to like work because I'm just like overwhelmed. I had no more love for passion of creativity. I didn't want to wake up and go to the gym when I was still, I mean, I still train athletes, but as far as like my gym trap fit training people, it was hard for me to wake up in the morning and do that. And like, I kind of had to look myself in the mirror and said, I'm only human, right? And that's the reality of it. I'm only human. So I only have certain amount of hours in a day and so much energy that I can give, and I'm burning myself out. So I kind of in 2024, I kind of like stepped back from a lot of things I was doing to kind of one take a break, but also to step back and say, how can I make this process better, more smooth, and make sense? Like, you know, I think a lot of times people chase the dollar so much that they forget that they're trading money for life, right? And I think that's a big mistake. And granted, don't get me wrong, you still got to hustle, you still got to work hard, and it's going to be some sacrifices, right? But when those sacrifices become the enjoyment of life, for me, I don't know if it's worth it. And for me, I was like, how can I figure it out? And I think that's where I started looking more into like actual businesses where people were like trading people and they're getting people training them. And at first I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, because now I got to pay somebody, right? It's one thing when I'm making my money and I know where, but when it's somebody who's like, hey, I'm they're providing for their lifestyle and their family based off of my ideas, essentially, it's a little bit more pressure, right? So I think that was the main thing, is that like I had to take a step back.
What's something entrepreneurship taught you that school never could?
Hmm. It's I think the most important thing, my dad harped on this a lot. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Um, school can teach you everything under the sun, and I think there's an important piece of having basic knowledge. But if you know the right people in the right circumstances, they'll teach you everything you need to know. And school doesn't teach you that. School teaches you learn this, do this, work for this person, do that. It doesn't teach you how to walk in a room and be fearless, and you know that this one person is the person you need to talk to in order to get this contract, and that's where school kind of actually turns you away from that type of like courage and stepping out on faith.
That's like school kind of teaches you the basics of it, right? And it's you
Mhm.
on you whether you kind of put yourself out there for the
Absolutely.
to network and all that stuff, all
Absolutely.
those things, right?
Network or essentially network. Yeah.
And how do you handle the seasons when business is slow and your motivation can be like fading, like you said, like you were burnt out a couple times, and it's hard to be creative in that set when you're always stressed out trying to get things done. How do you handle balancing the two?
Um, I think so. I play college football, and I think a lot of one thing you realize in college football, like people are like, "Oh, you love the game, you love the game. I get to play football." Like, what people don't realize is you work from Sunday to Friday tirelessly just to play for an hour and a half on Saturday, right? That's hours and hours and hours. So I think the main thing is that you have to have that discipline, right? There's going to be moments where your motivation is zero. There's going to be moments where you feel like I can't do this, but that's when your discipline kicks in. Hey, I have a schedule. I have to stick to my schedule. Even though I may not want to do it today, I understand that this little portion, this 1%, is going to add up to the 100% of where I truly want to be. So it's a discipline thing. It's less about motivation. You realize, sometimes you get on YouTube, you watch all the guys rah rah and all that, and then when it's time to do work, that rah rah go away. You still got to do the work. So it's the discipline portion for me.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you about Trap Fit.
Mhm.
So Trap Fit, is that the gym that you sold off
Yep.
to
So
other
I,
people?
I I sold my ownership to my other partner. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask, like, what was the original vision for it, and I guess how has it evolved? But I guess now that you're no longer a part of it, um, is this something that you're still? Is this something that still holds a place in your heart?
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So it was hard. I mean that one, that was tough and that was challenging to step away from that. But I knew where I wanted to go with my life. I had to. Especially for the opportunities that I knew were starting to be presented to myself. And it was a lot, man. Me and my partner Elliot, we started Trap Fit. Well, he founded it prior to me, but the actual gym, the location, we started when I was 23 years old in 2000 and oh Lord, 2018, I want to say.
Mhm.
So I started when I was 23, and I did it all the way till I was 30. And I mean, our vision, it changed, right? COVID was it made things hard, right? Like prior to COVID, I mean, we were rolling, man. It was I couldn't believe my damn self. I'm like, damn, this is all it is. You know what I'm saying? And then COVID happened, and we still got to pay rent. We still got to do this. So all the money that we made and everything that was going, the momentum that we had, it kind of halted. And we eventually got back to that point, but for me, I think after I was a little shaken up and taken back, and then life happens and things happen, and I just felt like for me, I was ready to step away. But in regards to a place in my heart, 100%. Like, you think about more so those relationships you build with people. Like I tell people all the time, like when you're a trainer, because I mean I was an owner, but I was also a trainer, like every day. You're a therapist, right? You deal with people's uh, high moments, low moments. I mean, anything you can think of in life, I've talked to people and talked them through it. And at the time, I'm 23 to 25. I don't know nothing about life, but just know I'm there to love and support you. Um, so that's the main thing. It's mostly those relationships with people. I don't get to see them every day. We don't get to, but a lot of those people we still connect and talk. So I'm thankful for that. But it's just the day-to-day interactions with those people.
Was there ever a client transformation that moved you the most, that reminds you that, like, oh, this is why I do what I do, being a
Absolutely.
trainer?
Absolutely. I would say two people. First, I would definitely say my guy Troy. Shout out to Troy. He actually does. He's an entrepreneur himself. But he started. I want to say he was 400 pounds. And then he had, I want to say, like some type of intestinal surgery to help him. I don't know if it was gastric bypass or the sleep. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's one of those two. And he lost a good amount of weight, right? But with that, you don't ever get that real tone and all that. So I think we got Troy around like 240 or something like that. And by the time we were done with Troy, I mean, he was 180, like completely different persona. He's got muscles, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the one thing I loved is that the confidence that you see that people get, like with their physical appearance. Like I know some people like, oh, don't be shallow and vain, but in the end of the day, we can see. You know what I'm saying? And we can feel, and your heart works better, your lungs work better. When you walk outside and somebody looks at you and they kind of like smile at you a little bit, you feel better about yourself. So that was awesome. And then we had another girl named Keisha, and she still goes to trap. They still both go to trap fit to this day, every day. But Keisha, I mean, this is a hardworking woman, man. She's worked through nursing school. I think now she's a nurse practitioner. And I mean, she would show up. She lost a ton of weight, and just the friendship and bond I got with her is amazing. But just to see their transformation and to see them blossom, man, it was nothing like it.
That's beautiful, man. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. And I wanted to ask, like, how rewarding does that feel? Because I feel, I'm a big, mental health advocate, and I feel it's important to, take care of strong body, strong mind, right?
Absolutely.
And for you, how does it feel to be able to have those connections with people? Or was it something that was an origin that inspired you to focus a lot on health for yourself, or was this something that kind of came into fruition over time?
I think so. I actually had a degree in exercise science. Which was mostly so I did it at App State. I did exercise science. I interned with the volleyball team, and learned from a lady named Leanne Blinn, who's, I mean, this is probably the strongest woman you'd ever meet in your life, man. But I got into it, and my brother actually was best friends with, well, is best friends with Elliot. And Elliot kind of was already training out of his house at his garage and stuff. And he kind of was like, yo, y'all should, start a gym. And we like kind of played with the idea. But then one day we was in the living room and we actually like wrote down numbers and was like, we could do this. And tell me your question one more time because I'm about to get to it.
Yeah. What was there an origin of what got you to focus on health and fitness
Oh yeah,
to
yeah. So so
help
so I
people?
majored in college. That's the main thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you the whole lineage story, but
No,
that
I'd
was
love
the
to
main
hear about it. But
thing.
was it like, because obviously that was when you people go to college, it takes a lot of time for them to process. So some people don't, to this day, don't even know what they want to do with their life.
Hmm.
Was this like a defining moment in your life that wanted to focus on that aspect of study when you were
Hmm.
in college?
Yep. So I mean, for me, I wanted to be a physical therapist, going into college, but literally in the midst of me being in college, they switched it from being like a kind of like a master's in physical therapy, like a 2 year program, to now you needed a doctorate, which was like 4 or 5 years. And me, I kind of was burnt out. I said, yeah, I'm straight on this. Let me just get into the world and get some money. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And
Mhm.
I wanted to transition into your photography and videography work.
Mm-hmm.
I myself, I went to film school, and I can definitely relate to that field. I wanted to ask, what does photography and videography do for you mentally that the gym or even real estate doesn't do for you?
Um, I think it allows me to tap into that creative side. I like creating. My mom had me and my brother in like instruments young. She'd always tell us to think. She actually paints herself. So that was always a part of our life. And I think for me, that allows me to kind of get out of, because I'm so like logical and so like logistic. This kind of pulls away from that and allows me to kind of tap into creativity and just fluidity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's almost relaxing for me. Like I go in there, not so much like listing pictures and stuff, but when I really like get into like those like high end interior design type shoots, it's a process of seeing what I like and what I feel, and then you move some this way. So for me, it's just kind of freeing. It's freeing. It's not so like rigid almost. With gym is 3 sets, 6 reps. With construction, is I need a 2x4 that's 36 and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very here. With interior design, it's feel. It's less rigid. So that's the difference for me.
What's been your most challenging project to date in that field?
Um, I tell people all the time weddings. Um,
Oh man, I can imagine.
yeah, weddings are they are weddings. It's not like they're impossible or they're hard, but they're just so stressful. It's those two people's quote unquote best day of life. It's a lot of money behind it, so like everybody's a little tense sometimes. Now you will get weddings where the people are just laid back and relaxed, and it's not as stressful. But it's just a very like time sensitive thing. Is there's no second shots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially like during the ceremony. Now, kind of once the ceremony's over, it's not that bad. But that like leading up, you just get there a few hours early, makeup, hair, getting dressed, putting on the shoes, all that stuff. That's very stressful. And then also you're like this for hours
Mhm.
holding a camera. So I'll say weddings.
And how do you balance creating for others versus creating for yourself? Because I've seen you also do content creating for your own self, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance the two, uh, in life?
Um. Well, that was part of me adding somebody to my team. So I have editors that help me edit certain stuff. Now, all my interior design photos and all that stuff, I edit myself. I want my touch and all that. But there's certain projects I do kind of pass off to editors to speed up the process and realize that I only have 24 hours in a day. So that helps me. I delegate the work. And then my stuff, I'm 100% on my work, which I need to kind of probably pass off myself and not be so controlling. But yeah.
Perfect. So, in the real estate world, right?
Mhm.
Was there a defining win or loss in real estate that made you double down on that game?
Yeah, actually, so our first deal, and I have this business with my brother. Our first deal was, I mean, grand slam. I mean, we still have this house to this day. We got it at a great price. Renovated it. The numbers we ended up keeping it. So I don't know if you're familiar with a burr, but basically we did a burr. We bought it. We renovated. Uh, buy, renovate, refinance, whatever, and rent out. There we go.
Mhm.
So that's essentially what we did. And this space, we still, so it's point 0.8 of an acre, I want to say. So now, not only does the it's a duplex, but that rent out and does fine. But we also have space to build more properties and do all types of different stuff with the land that we want to. So that was a home run. We had another few good deals, but we did have one bad deal, and it was bad. It was in Durham, and essentially what happened, I want to say we got it when the market, I don't know if you remember, when interest rates were really down.
Mhm.
And so house prices were really going good. Everybody was, surging the market. And so we're always cautious. So we always shoot our projections lower than what the market's doing just to cover our ass. And I mean, the market just, I mean, completely flipped on us in the middle of the renovation, and we lost damn near $100,000 on that one deal. So I mean, that's why we kind of, and that was part of the 2023. Like I need a break because it was like I didn't put so much. I mean, beautiful house. I mean, absolutely gorgeous house, but the market shifted, and as beautiful as the house is, as much as I wanted to sell, as much as other people say it's beautiful, I can't control what the market's going to do. So that one we got whooped in. So yeah, man, you have some ups and downs in real estate, but the main thing with real estate is that you got to keep going. You're going to win, you're going to lose, but the main thing is to keep going.
Is that the advice you would give to people who are just jumping into real estate like in 2025?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, what I would say for 2025 right now, it's the wild, wild west because of the economy and not understand. It's so I mean, we could do a whole episode on that, but I would say, you know, do your research and trust your numbers. That's the main thing. Do your research, trust your numbers, and don't be too bold or too risky to oh, we can make this work. That's not how it works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as you want your feelings to matter in real estate, that's just not how it works. If the market doesn't dictate what you think is going to happen, you're setting yourself up to lose a lot of money. So yeah,
Yeah. What do you look for in a property beyond numbers? What speaks to you personally when it comes to investing in that property?
I would say location. A lot of our properties was in Southeast Raleigh because that's where we live at. You know, we understand the demographics, and also me and my brother have a thing. We don't displace people. Like there are some people that I mean, real estate gets really, really like grimy at certain levels. I don't feel okay displacing anybody. Like that's just not my thing. If there's people living there and somebody's trying to sell it off behind their back and stuff, I'm not doing that. Like I don't want to be a part of it. I gotta have moral compass. I gotta be comfortable with myself at night. But there are deals where, you know, some people pass on and the family lives in another state and it's like, hey, here's a deal. We'll take those. So yeah.
How has your fitness discipline transferred over into your real estate hustle?
Schedule, man. Schedule. Wake up, get to it. You know, and then also I think it gives me more energy throughout the day that I am fit. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people like get tired by like 2, 3. Man, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So
Perfect. And I kind of wanted to ask you this question because I saw on your Instagram that you call yourself a big kid.
mhm,
And what does that mean to you? And how do you hold on to joy while also still being disciplined?
absolutely. I think so the big kid thing is just that, you know, never for me, it just reminds myself to never lose your inner child and never lose the things that you love and truly enjoy, right? I think as you become adults, it's like, oh, I gotta be rigid and I gotta and it's like, no, like, you know, I like watching cartoons. You know what I'm saying? I like playing video games. I coach high school football. I love it. Like I literally before this, I was rushing back here because I just, you know, we had practice this morning. You know what I'm saying? I had to hop in the shower and rush here. But I love it, man, and I'm able to take off the analytics and able to let my hair down and just have fun. You know what I'm saying? I think that's so important. Because if not, what you know what I'm saying, like it goes back to the first thing I said. What's the point of life if you don't get to live it? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's telling myself to never lose the enjoyment of life.
Oh yeah. And what season of your life taught you the most about who you are today?
Mm. Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I would say the dark moments, man. The moments where you know you trying to figure it out and you don't know what's next, and you stress, you crying, and just whatever's happening, and then you kind of sit back and you realize how blessed you truly are. I think that's a big thing for me. Like I'm big on like realizing that you know every day you wake up, you got a choice, you got a chance, and you got a choice. And I think for me that is a big thing to remind myself. But yeah, I think it's just, you know, those dark moments where life was hard and things weren't going the way you want to. And I mean, there's still situations to this day that aren't perfect, but in the end of the day, it's like, you know, I wake up and I can call my brother, I can call my mom, I can call my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that alone in itself is it makes me happy, right? So I think that's important.
Beautiful. One of my last questions I wanted to ask you is, what's a misconception people have about you based on your online presence?
Mm. Um, I think a misconception people have about me or think, especially the people that don't know me personally, is that I'm like really serious. And it's like I'm not really serious. Like if you know me, like now, granted, in certain moments I'm very serious, but like man, I am the biggest clown goof around. Like I got ADHD, severe ADHD, and so like I'm just half the day just playing the drums on my desk, joking around, or when I'm with the kids coaching, I might throw a football at one of the kids' heads and turn around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really a jokester. So I think that's the misconceptions. People think I'm just like rigid and very serious, and I'm like, I'm the furthest from that. So,
Cool. Yeah, and I kind of get that energy based off of talking to you, because in your pictures, you seem like you're like so focused, so serious, you
mhm.
know what I mean? And like knowing you now, I'm like, okay, this guy's like, I could tell, like, I could see why you are where you are right now in your life
Yep,
because you're very social, you know yourself very well, and you have a goal, and that's something that not enough people can say that they have right
yep.
now in their lives,
There
you
you go.
know?
Appreciate that.
Of course. Last question for you, because I know you got a lot of things to do today.
Oh no, no, we good. I ain't got
Okay.
nothing to do to 12:30. I got an hour.
12:30, right? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
What's something you haven't said publicly yet, but feel ready to share now?
Ooh, I got you. Robinson Ave construction coming really soon.
Perfect.
Yeah, real soon.
Uh, where can people find you, Dante? And do you have any if you have any upcoming events in the future that you want to, shout out right now, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, where can people find you?
I mean, you can find me on social media. It's the Dante Jones on Instagram. I don't really be on Twitter like that. Twitter's a wild place. Twitter's a wild place, yo.
Absolutely.
And I got a TikTok. I'm actually trying to start my TikTok presence, just giving some personality, giving some life aspects. And I'm like, if you look on my TikTok, you'll realize like, oh yeah, he do be goofing around. I garden too. I ain't mentioned that, but I garden, man. I love gardening. Got a nice garden backyard. But I don't have any events going on. But if you do, I'm gonna shout out Trap Fit because it's still my gym. Every Thursday at 7 o'clock, Trap Aerobics.
Perfect.